We've had the T-Rex. Well, it seems they're carrying on with the historic creature references with this latest PCP from Remington, the Mammoth. Hello and welcome to AAR On Air. This week it's PCP time with Remington's latest offering, the Mammoth. Only I can't see why you would call a nice traditional style bolt action PCP after what was essentially a hairy elephant. Let's take a closer look and see if there are any clues to the naming of this rather nice looking rifle. A few statistics then first. This is 1150mm long, or around 45¼ inches, and tips the scales at 3.7 kilograms, which is just over 8 pounds. And I must say that it doesn't feel heavy at all. Granted, it is a little more front heavy than the abundance of bullpups that are out there on the market these days, but I wouldn't put this down as being particularly heavy. My first thoughts on opening the box and first inspection is that this is simply constructed, but well constructed. The bolt action is not flimsy, the barrel strap is significant, and the finish of the materials is of high standards. From the front then, this comes straight out of the box with a fitted silencer that perfectly matches the finish of the shrouded barrel, and the shape flows into each other for that quality finish look. This silencer is fitted to the 1/2-inch UNF threaded barrel. Well, I would say barrel adapter, but nonetheless the silence is pretty efficient, but you have the ability to fit an aftermarket option if you prefer. Always a nice option. As I've said, the barrel is under the nicely finished off shroud and continues all the way back to the green finish at the start of the block. Underneath this shroud is a 250cc air cylinder which fills to a maximum of 250 bar, and this is shown on the clear colour-coded manometer or gauge on the end of the cylinder. As always, not the best place to fit it, but naturally this is done to keep the costs of manufacturing down. And that keeps the cost of the end product down for the consumer, of course. And if you still want to have a go about it, please feel free, but remember where Viroc put theirs. Around this gauge is a swivelling dust cover for the fill port. This is filled using the Foster fitting filler probe that comes in the box. Again, the finish on this is really very good. All this sits onto the traditional ambidextrous beech stock, which is well finished off with no sharp edges at all. The light checkering is to the forestock and the grip area. This traditional shape also allows both thumbs up or thumbs down shooting to suit most everyone. To the rear of this stock is a rubberized butt pad just to finish it off. The stock is a one-piece item with no cheek riser or adjustments. But this isn't a 4-figure sum rifle, and I found it very comfortable to use straight out of the box. The top scope rail is a Weaver Picatinny fitting, which makes choice of scope mounts easier and removal and refit simpler too. This is bolt action, and the rear aluminium bolt is a solid thing of beauty. The action is smooth and not at all vague or notchy. This comes fitted with a single shot tray in place, which can be replaced with the supplied 10-round magazine in this .22 caliber version that I have here. It will also be available in .177 and .25, but these weren't available at the time of this review. The magazine is very simple to load. Simply drop in your chosen pellet from the front, and you can do this 2 at a time. Then rotate, drop in again, rotate until it's all full. Once it is full, then it is just simply a case of, in this particular instance, removing the single shot tray and then popping in from the right hand side the magazine, and you're good to go. Now, it is probably worth noting that this isn't an anti-double load magazine, so don't keep cocking and cocking until you've got a full barrel, and then you need 10 minutes to sit down and come up with an excuse around how it was all the gun's fault that you've got a dozen pellets in the barrel. And yes, I've heard this so many times from people returning guns, claiming they didn't do anything wrong. Incidentally, I believe the record at Vector Air is 32 pellets stuck in a barrel by a customer. And of course, it wasn't his fault. Anyway, back to this rather nice Mammoth. It does come with a 3 to 9 by something scope. Oh dear. Regular viewers will know I often refer to these as starter scopes, but there are starter scopes and there are starter scopes. And this one doesn't even have any form of focusing to it, so it's going to have parallax issues. You've probably gathered that so far I do quite like this Mammoth, but at this point, that's where I stop. And I will assure you that whilst this is a method of providing the customer with a sighting aid with a cheap scope, it doesn't do this rifle any favours at all, and I will be fitting a better scope for the target work a little later, probably one of the superbs and not expensive 3 to 18 Orion scopes to give this rifle the best chance in the accuracy test. It's worth just mentioning the trigger too, because this is a 2-stage item and has well-defined stages, and whilst not particularly heavy out of the box, it is adjustable should you wish to personalise it. The blade is also nice and broad for comfort. The manual safety is a through trigger item, and left to right for safe and right to left for fire, showing a red indicator for fire, and once locked, it locks the trigger completely. Let's get this over the chronograph then, shall we, and see what the power output is. Well, using pretty standard 15.89 grain pellets, it saw 578 feet per second, which is 11.79 foot-pounds, or 15.99 joules. Well, I would say that's just about perfect and should suit most everyone from target shooters to pest controllers. Let's see if that works to the Mammoth's advantage out on the range, shall we? So, with the Orion scope fitted, here we go, out at 40 metres. The Remington Mammoth, but it also says M25W on the side as well. It is bolt action, as everything that's been described. It's quite long, but it only seems long because everybody's so used to bullpups nowadays. I actually quite like it. It feels nice, it's ambidextrous, nice piece of beech, no sharp edges. It's really nicely finished off. They've got their act together nowadays. The stippling is there. It's not huge, but it does give you a bit of a grip, a bit of a feel to it. Now, the one thing that I absolutely refused to do was to put their scope on it. This starter scopes and this starter scopes, as I've already said, that is really not a good starter scope. It's not a good scope all round, to be fair. So, and I get the feeling that this gun might just be really good. So rather than sort of ruin its chances, I've put the 3 to 18 Orion scope on, which I really love, the zero stop one, and I've taken about half a dozen shots just to get it zeroed in. And somebody's messing about with an aeroplane above. If I have it on a small mic, chances are you'll pick it up, but most of the time I use the bigger mics, so hopefully it's going to clear off and you won't hear it anyway. But back to it, it comes with a silencer on. You shoot it without any pellets in, you think the silencer's not really working that well, is it? But the minute you put pellets in it, it's really acceptable, really acceptable. I suppose acceptable is the wrong word. It's really good. It is. It's yeah, doesn't make enough noise to cause anybody any grief, really. So, zeroed in, nice gun. I quite like traditional rifles anyway. let's give it a go. We're down at 40 metres, and let's see what we can do. 2.2, not 177. Nice calm day though. I'll take that for a start. It's a nice bolt action as well. You feel like you've got something solid. You have got to use it, work it, don't be afraid of it, but it's smooth enough. Yep. Magazine does seem a little bit agricultural in many respects, but it's functional, it works, it's nice and easy, and you can load them 2 at a time as well. That was me, that was definitely me. Let's concentrate on it a little bit, shall we? I think we've blown the centre out of it now. Empty. Now the last one was me. Let's go and get the target. See how well we've done, shall we? Now a couple at the bottom there. Okay, I'll take the blame for that one. Now, I don't think that is bad at all. You can see it's just started blowing the hole out the centre of it. It's a 2.2, so it makes a bigger hole than a 177. It's more than accurate. You get comfortable with this one very quickly. That is only the first full magazine that I've actually put through this. Before that, I've fired probably half a dozen shots. I haven't got it here. Probably half a dozen shots just to zero the scope in, and away we went. So that's my first full magazine with this gun. You get it as you see it, and I don't think there is anything wrong with that. Yes, I've put a decent scope on it, but it's a budget scope in many respects in the scheme of things. These are very, very popular. I love them. They're a really nice quality scope, so that has made a difference, but it is a really nice quality rifle. It's surprised me. Remington really, certainly on this Mammoth, why they use the name Mammoth I have no idea, but they've certainly got their act together on this one. It's a nice rifle to use. It's very easy to use. It's very comfortable to use. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whichever you want to do, it will do it. I like it. That speaks for itself really, doesn't it? No more to say. Back to the studio. Now, I don't think you can complain too much about that, and that was from a 2.2 rather than the usual 177 caliber that I am known to favour. Pretty good, I would say. You know, since I started reviewing airguns way back when Mammoths did walk the land, I remember when some of the rifles coming in from the likes of Remington and others was average at best. But it must be said that the factories have stepped up their game and the quality is shining through with well finished off wooden stocks, high quality finishes to metalwork, better triggers and better accuracy. So what is the Mammoth going to cost you? Well, supplied with the included silencer and that scope, it'll set you back £365 UK, which is pretty good value in my opinion. But I would urge anyone wanting to buy this to fit a better scope, either right from the start or as soon as they can afford a better one. And then you will have a really nice little setup. I've enjoyed this one. Hopefully you have too. If so, please give us the old thumbs up, subscribe, feel free to share, and don't forget to click the alarm notification bell, because then you'll know when new programs are being released. Get yourself over to the AAR On Air website and register. That will get you access to the fantastic competitions that are running from time to time. A big thank you to Vector Air for getting a hold of this one for me to review for you. And a big thank you to the people who have supported the AAR Green Air project. Here are just a few of the names of people who have gotten on board so far. We will try to thank as many people as possible, so please bear with us. That's it for this week from me. Just needs to say, stay safe and shoot safe, and hopefully I'll see you all next time. Yeah, bye for now. It's not a bad piece of kit, that. Really not a bad piece of kit.